Hi everybody, it's Geoff here with a quick look at some advice for AQA Economics Paper 3. Hi there, quick reminder of the grade boundaries from 2023. The A-star boundary was 182 out of 240, 76%. The A-star boundary was 156, which is 65%, and 132 for a B, 55%. Now in terms of paper 3, 2-hour paper. You have to answer all questions, and the maximum mark for the paper is obviously 80. There's a 30 question multiple choice paper in section A, and obviously the key advice here is to make sure you've downloaded and practiced all of the last 5, 6 or 7 years worth of papers. If you've done that, by the way, you'll cover a tremendous range of topics. There's only a limited number of questions in the question bank, so it may well be the case that similar style questions may well appear in 2024, but make sure you download the mark schemes, have a go at the papers and check the scores. Getting a really high mark on multiple choice can have a big effect on your grades. Section B, investigation paper we're going to talk about today. 50 marks for this, 10 mark data question, 15 mark explanation question and a 25 mark recommendation question, where at the end you must justify your recommendation. So the 10 mark question. This is our suggested structure. You need to state what you want to see in the data to help show what's required by the question. We think there should be 3 separate data quotes in the answer. There has to be, okay, and 2 separate evaluation points. So quote the data, use the correct units, conduct a relevant calculation and manipulation of the data where necessary. Explain how your data, the data you've selected, supports or negates the views shown in the question. 2 evaluation points. And then a final judgment at the end, considering the extent to which the data supports or doesn't support the view in the question. That's the 10 mark question. And as I've suggested to you in Grade Booster, when you're putting data in your answer, underline the data. Extract B shows, figure 1 shows, flag up your use of data quotes. According to the examiners, the best answers, as is the case across all 3 papers, start with the key definition. The broader and better the definition, the more effective the following answer would be. Appropriate statistics from top-level students in the past were chosen and then compared. Pardon me. For 10 mark questions, of course, you need to evaluate by considering the limitations of the data, the scope of the data, the accuracy, the kind of data that might be missing would make you give you a more informed answer. And critically, for the 10 mark question, examiners expect to see a concluding paragraph that incorporates a supported judgment. So 10 mark the data question, 15 mark question, the explain question. Here's our suggested structure. Short opening paragraph, define key terms, list the 3 points you will make. Then 3 separate analysis paragraphs with a very short final conclusion. A 1-sentence conclusion is fine. Of course, this is not an evaluation question. It's an explanation question. And the examiners have said that the top level 3 responses for the 15 mark question are well organised and develop a selection of the key issues that are relevant to a question. They show good knowledge, understanding of terminology, concepts and economic principles, good application of relevant principles to the given context, and where appropriate, good use of data to support the response. So you need to bring that application in to support your analysis. Includes well-focused analysis with clear, logical, stepped chains of reasoning. And of course, use those connective phrases to help build those chains of reasoning. 25 mark question, obviously the discussion question with a recommendation at the end. Short opening paragraph, define the key terms and summary of your overall argument. Analysis, paragraph 1, followed by evaluation. Then 3 separate analysis paragraphs immediately followed by targeted evaluation. And then you build a concluding judgment. And obviously, because it's paper 3, you have to come to a clear recommendation at the end of the answer and justify your recommendation. Top level 5 responses provide an answers that are well organised, obviously sound knowledge of theory, concepts and principles, good application of relevant principles to a given context, and supported evaluation throughout the response. Don't leave the evaluation to the end. Follow our structure, analysis, evaluate, analysis, evaluate, analysis, evaluate. Supported evaluation throughout the response, and critically, of course, in the final conclusion. This is the 2023 paper. It was about Sri Lanka. You've been asked to review the economic performance of Sri Lanka. The 10-mark question was, to what extent, if at all, does the data suggest the Sri Lankan economy is more developed than Bangladesh and Pakistan? That's your data question. Explain possible reasons for fluctuations in the world market price of tea. Obviously, there a good analysis diagram, supporting diagrams, perhaps, shifts in demand and supply would be important there, and also considering elasticities of demand and supply. And then after considering extract D and the regional evidence in A, B and C, would you recommend that the government of Sri Lanka cuts its spending, fiscal austerity, to reduce debt? So a fiscal policy question in the context of the Sri Lankan economy. The examiners said in 2023, so keep in mind what they say so that you can avoid these mistakes in 24. Weaker candidates quote data but don't really use it. So you can't just throw data in a scattergun way. You've got to build the data into your analysis and evaluation. Several candidates modelled macro and micro diagrams, so you might be labelling them incorrectly. So do check that. There were two ineffective approaches to questions. One was over-reliance on the data and the extracts with minimal theory. One was over-reliance on theory with no use of the data and no evidence it had even been read. So if there's data in the extracts, there has to be data in the answer. And as I suggest, get that highlighter pen out. Really work with the extracts in the early minutes of the exam after the multiple choice paper. Multiple choice paper is a really good warm-up exercise. It gets you going. Then get the old highlighter pens out, get the pens out, start highlighting, underlining, commenting on data. Really work the extracts so that, having read the questions first, so that you can then give yourself a bit more time, a little bit of planning, and then give yourself a much more structured response. The examiners also said that many candidates did not follow the main command words and instructions. So explain does not mean evaluate, okay? The 15 marker is not an evaluation question. Well, there we go. Hopefully you found this useful. Just wishing you all the best for your AQA Economics Paper 3.